My name is David Selby, and I've been asked to share with you a few of my thoughts about the impact of the new Annex 11 guideline on computerized systems that came into force in January 2011. The most obvious point right at the beginning of the new guidance is about the way that risk management now has to be embedded into all aspects of pharmaceutical industry compliance and GMP. The role of the vendor is essential because only they have the knowledge and expertise to allow us to make a realistic risk assessment, to allow us to focus validation activities in the right areas. The second thing that is obvious is that finally the regulations say there is a need for a requirements document. The GAMP organisation has been saying this for 20 years, and finally it's written in the guidance from the regulators. Perhaps the biggest change in the new guidance relates to the interaction with suppliers and contractors. And now there's a requirement for third-party quality agreements with third parties for all the services we take or for validation, and that has to be written down. And the really interesting little bit means that this has to be in place as well for internal IT departments, which was a bit of a surprise. What was also a surprise was the requirement to show audit reports of our IT suppliers and contractors to inspectors. So the implication for that is that we need to make sure, first of all, that we justify either an audit or not having an audit, and then our reports need to be clear and compliant so that we can show them to inspectors. Finally, we have in this guidance some European regulations about electronic records and signatures. We've been using them for some time, but finally it's written down. So we have it there in black and white, and we need to look at those and interpret, particularly where we need audit trails, and that relates to exactly how we're going to use the systems. And again, we need to involve our suppliers in terms of understanding how audit trails are applied, where they can be applied, and exactly how to manage them as we go into the use of the systems that they're bringing to us. Finally, we need to make clear the use of unvalidated systems is no longer acceptable. All the systems we use must be validated, and we can be sure now that if ever we're found to be using unvalidated systems during an inspection, we're certainly going to get an observation from the inspectors to that effect. And if the system is really critical, that could have very serious impact on the operations that we have. Maybe a common theme that's running through a lot of this is the importance of the vendors that we have and the help that we need from them in assessing risks, in helping to define raw data, and generally speaking, in helping us to make our validation activities and our compliance activities afterwards more cost efficient and effective.